Hi, I am Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment. Today I want to run a little exercise with you. So let's play together. You can keep your eyes open, you can close them. I want you to imagine a bug in your home on the wall. It can be a bug of any choosing. Could be a spider or something that just doesn't normally come into your home. Okay, you got that in mind? What is your first thought? And what emotion potentially is coming up for you, if there is an emotion? So, looking at this bug, seeing this bug, there's some sort of response now happening physically in your body. What is that? Do you scream? Do you immediately run to your partner, or do you grab a shoe? What is it that happens next? I'm giving you this example and for you to visualize, to really check in with yourself, to notice what comes up for you, because this is not what we normally get to do when we are in the moment of something happening. So, like in this example, a bug showing up that may cause you to go into fear. Maybe it causes you to go into some sort of annoyance, another emotion where you're feeling really frustrated, like, why are these bugs coming into my home? Take a breath. And I want you to really connect to the fear aspect. What fear is there in this creature? What potential within this creature is creating this fear in you? Meaning, you see this bug, immediately there's going to be a response, and we tend to have some sort of a fear connection because we become afraid of this potential of what this creature or this bug, this tiny little thing, or maybe it's a little bigger, but we're so afraid as humans of bugs. They bug us, right? There are these play on words because it is very intentional in the way our world has been constructed. So I'm just going to kind of give you a play-by-play of an experience I had and have you start to realize, where are you in your consciousness, in your response, in how things play out. Because you may say, well, what's the big deal about a bug? And yet, I want us to really see that the bug is so much more. So let's just stick with your example first. Maybe you immediately were like, there's a bug. And you grabbed the shoe and you squished it. You squished this bug. And now how do you feel? Do you feel like, oh, I'm so relieved. I feel so safe now? Or are you maybe almighty? Like, I showed that bug, right? You don't have a place here. You don't belong here. You're out. Yeah, let's take another breath. I want to go back to the squishing the bug. And also, even before that, where I mentioned the potential that maybe we're afraid of in this bug, right? There's some sort of a potential power over you, a potential of being harmed. There's something that this bug holds that we become afraid of or we don't like. And so in that moment, we squish the bug. We squish its potential. We squish it completely. Like, you have no power. You don't even have life now. You're done. Who are we to determine that we should have such power? And when I really started to look at it in the sense that my own example, my daughter had a bug outside her bedroom on the wall, and it was in this weird position that, yes, I could have squished it, and yet I wanted to take this container and potentially try and catch it and get it out of the house. That's more and more my first go-to is, I'm not here to kill you, and I'm also not really sure why I'm afraid of you. So she texts Dad, because Dad's not home, and he says, it's a centipede, kill it, squish it with a shoe. And that wasn't the option for me. That wasn't my truth. And I say truth with a capital T, because if I take the fear out of it, right? I don't know what this bug is, but now I've been told it's poisonous, right? The poisonous aspect is, I am already seeing this potential in this bug as you're poisonous, you're harmful, you're going to hurt me. But yet here it sits on the wall. It's just sitting there. It's not coming at me. It's not even moving. I've checked on it here and there. My daughter leaves, and I have the option of how to remove this bug. And I didn't. And I muscle test, and I asked for truth to show me, and I connected with the bug. And when I made the certain statements to see, is this bug going to harm me or bite my child, the answer was no. And the bugs are often just as afraid as we are, and yet they're probably more in tune energetically and intuitively with us, that we can connect with this. We can form an agreement. And you may think I'm freaking crazy, and that's okay, because there are many layers and many energies at play when we have choices. And yet what hijacks our choices is the very energy we've been conditioned by, which namely is fear, but it's also your emotions or you not feeling safe. And yes, maybe you had a situation where there was something that bit you. And then it becomes a level of, I don't want to deal with that, just get it out, I don't want it in the house. I had a thought, and I didn't realize this until a little later. I had a thought at some point during the day. The bug had still been there, I'd been checking on it. The thought was, I could go grab my chicken and bring the chicken in the house and let the chicken eat the bug and let nature ensue, right? And even as soon as I was having the thought, I already was feeling like, that's still me killing it. Why not grab a shoe? If I'm going to get a chicken, it's the same thing. Like, why? And immediately I was like, no, I can't do that. And so, of course, this is my spiritual, of course, when I go back, the bug is gone. Now, you may say, oh gosh, like now where's the bug? What? And I will tell you, there absolutely was a little bit of worry, anxiety, fear coming in of like, where'd the bug go? Is it gonna pop out now? I realize, because I had the thought to do harm, it already felt that. It had to leave. And so when I checked in, and is the bug still here? Yes. Is the bug gonna, the bug is going to harm us? Or no, the answer is no. I had to realize I was getting stuck in my own conditioning, my own mind, my beliefs, the emotions, all the pieces. And then when I simply let it go, I let it go. So when my daughter got home, I don't exactly remember all the questions she asked, but she's like, is the bug gone? And I'm like, yes. Did you squish it with a shoe? No. Right? And somehow she got sidetracked. She didn't ask any more questions. And I was like, okay, great. Fast forward a day. when maybe she had now her own conditioned fear come up of like, wait, where did that bug go? That she asked me more questions. Mom, did you squish the bug? And I was like, no. She's like, well, how'd you get rid of it? And I said, I let it be. And she said, you let it be? Does that mean you didn't get it? No, sweetie, I didn't. And she immediately started to be very afraid. And it triggered me in a very big way to realize the pieces that I'm going to put together for you. Realizing that here is this bug, and I'm telling my daughter, there's this bug and it is sitting there on the wall. It is doing no harm, it is causing no harm, and yet we're in fear of its potential. We want to squish its potential. We want to take that bug and get rid of it. And I can't do that. I can't. That's my choice now. And I had the thought of getting rid of it, and it felt that thought. And I said, but I had to tap in and go beyond the fears. And I had to say, sweetie, I had to lean into my truth. There's nothing to be afraid of. And she's looking at me big-eyed, like, what do you mean? I'm afraid. And I said, I know that you're afraid that what if this bug comes? But I have asked the questions, made the statements to tap in to, is the bug even here? It is not here. It is not in the house. And you may say again, you're freaking crazy. What, you just can tap in and you believe like, oh, it's just gone? When we remove ourselves from the falsities, the illusions that surround us, we have access to all that is. And we are able and capable and open to receiving truth with a capital T, where there is nobody's overlying bullshit coming in. There is nobody else's conditioning to put upon me. And when I can release and remove those and tap in and truthfully connect into what is, the answer is there. Why am I afraid of this bug? Why am I afraid of something that may never happen? Why am I afraid? Why am I not tapping into love and how to love this creature? And the bigger piece when I was explaining this to my daughter is, we do this to ourselves. We do this to other humans. We're afraid of someone's potential. We're afraid of our own potential. I'm afraid of your potential. I'm afraid of whatever it is that we've already been forced into the illusion of believing that if you're great, I can't be. So the potential is what? You could harm me? If we walked around like that, how would we ever connect as humans? And that is exactly why we do not connect with bugs, with certain animals, predators, aspects of the earth, fire, the elements, right? It goes on and on and on. Do you see the connection? If I squash that bug, I'm squashing its potential. And the potential was something I made up, but it was going to hurt me. And you know what? Probably was never going to hurt me. But if I am listening to my beautiful mind, this human aspect that just gets us lost in all the illusions, if I listen to that, I would squish that bug in a heartbeat, and you probably did too in your visualization. And you know what? It's okay. I tell you this because if you are squashing your dream, your potentiality for creating, the whole thing about manifestation is whatever you may desire, it's all in the potential within the quantum field. The moment you cut it off, the moment you're afraid of it, it all disappears. There is no potential. It will never come into form. Stop doing that. Stop doing it to yourself. Stop doing it to each other. Right? Just stop. Stop letting this get you lost into wormholes of potential that was never potential, except you were starting to create it as potential. And so you cut it out and you cut it off and you squish someone else's dream, someone else's livelihood. And then you take their power away, right? To squish the bug, you end its life. You take its power, its life force power away. I can't do that anymore. And it's very occasional if it happens. And boy, am I like emotional about it. Because if I'm human, I'm better than this bug? No. But if I was really afraid, was there truly an intuitive truth coming to me to know that my life was in danger? Most of the time it's no. Most of the time it's not going to happen. And yet I will tell you, if you are in the moment and you are so present in the now and something happens, you are not making decisions from your head anyway. You are listening to your instinct, your intuitive body that is just going to launch you into exactly what you're here to do. And if that means you are deflecting and you're punching and you're squishing and you're doing something, that's your body taking over. That is your soul that you are, helping you to have these experiences and to still survive if you're meant to, right? We're all here to have these lessons. And all I could think of too is, you know what, if this thing did bite me, would it be because I was testing and playing in that space and then I'm supposed to see if I can heal it? You know, and then the mind goes down these other rabbit holes of, well, what if it still bites you? And then what? You have to learn the lesson that you should have killed it in the first place, right? It'll spiral you. There will always be more what ifs when you are in your mind. But when you are simply present, guess what? There is no bug right now. And that's all, right? I am safe here. I am sharing with you. Why am I still going back and worrying? Why am I still stuck in the past? And that's what I saw that happened even for my daughter. That she immediately already had that traumatic response. And for me to share and explain to her what I did and why I did, and I could see her already starting to think. Because the reality is, I want her to realize she has power in her choice. She has power to find her own truth and to listen to her truth and not get lost in everybody else's noise and distraction. But that's what the world has taught us to do. Is I should have listened to you. I should have called you. I should have been like, what should I do? There's this crazy bug in my house. That's me giving my power away. That's me already squishing my own knowing and not trusting myself. The other layer within this story in the share of a bug, and whether we kill it or not, whether there's fear or not, where is your consciousness? What level are you residing? Because when we are in the lower vibrations of David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, we are in different levels that are lower than 200. That's how we react. That's our conditioning. And until we have these experiences to up level and move to higher vibrations, fear doesn't live there. There is no room for that illusion anymore. And this is the same thing whether it's a bug or a homeless person. how do we view them? Do we want to be afraid of the potential in them? And again, the potential, good or bad, right or wrong, right? It's just simply what is. But depending on your level of consciousness, you absolutely are going to have yourself be stuck in fear. And you're only going to see the fear. And you're going to be afraid of the homeless man. You're going to be afraid of the bug. You're going to be afraid of who wins elections. And you're going to be afraid of what happens next, because that fear takes over. And that's all it allows you to see. There are two big, beautiful hawks swooping in my yard. Not quite sure. Just wanted to share, because I'm sure there's a message in that. There's a connection there. So when we're no longer afraid, we have the opportunity to really connect in a whole new way, and to be moving up the levels, and to move into courage and acceptance and love, and even further up into enlightenment. And really starting to see that when we separate ourselves out of this false matrix and we peel back the illusions, there's simply love. And there's this beautiful energy that is interwoven into everything, and we are connected to it, and it to us, and me to you, and we to them, and we're all one. And that's really what I see now, that the bugs, the bugs always have huge metaphors for me, I've been finding, especially in this year. They teach me. And the more that I would reject or lash out or, want to harm, it was my fear. And this was a perfect example for me to see my growth and to realize I saw it and I was curious. And I was able to pause and breathe and respond. And I say respond even though I took no action, but to respond in the way of just responding to myself and noticing the energies and using my tools to be able to connect to truth, my truth, connect to so much more than I ever did before. And you have that opportunity as well. So when you think about your visualization of having this bug in your home and what would you do? Again, if it was a spider, was it even poisonous? What's the most that it could do to you? What's the biggest way it could harm you? Most of the time, they really can't, but it's just our conditioned reaction now to see it and want to kill it and just get rid of it. And again, when you're ready and you're moving up levels in consciousness, you can communicate and connect with the bug and make agreements. And maybe you believe or not believe that they'll listen. Again, that'll be a whole new can of worms to go through, because our beliefs, they're stuck in that matrix. They really do condition us and control us to be stuck in old paradigms and to believe things that are absolutely not the capital T for truth. And the journey and the experiences you have are going to continue to help you to get closer to truth for you. Because again, my truth is not your truth, because my journey is not your journey. So be you, honor you, and enjoy the ride. Bye for now. Mwah.